my god, oh 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 my god. Hey there, Internet Best Buddies, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm Ray, and today we're going to be looking at the newest installment in the Star Wars series, The Last Jedi. So we're also going to try something a little different today in the formatting. I want you to go down and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the content that I put out. And at the end of the video, if you find it enjoyable, give it a like and share it with some other friends who like movies. So as many people know, and as you can clearly tell from all this over y'all, my eye was itchy. But anyway, I love Star Wars. I've got all this crap here. I've even got the Clone Wars cartoons on DVD. These are awesome. If you've never seen these, definitely check them out. I think they're made by the people that did Samurai Jack. This won Emmys? I've got a sweet Kylo Ren body pillow. It's pretty hype. Foxy loves it. She sleeps on it all the time. A cool canvas. I think Eric got this for me. Hang that up at some point. Got the blanket right behind me over here. I love Star Wars. Even Foxy loves Star Wars. You ready to watch Star Wars? I imagine I probably started like a lot of kids started, with their dad showing them Star Wars. Although I'm 100% not sure, because the only movie I definitely know my dad showed me when I was probably like 4 years old was Austin Powers. Thanks, Dad. So honestly, after my first viewing opening night, I absolutely hated the movie. And here's my literal reactions to it when I came home. I was up till 3 a.m. just sitting there contemplating how broken I was and how they just destroyed me. But I figured, there's a lot going on here, I should probably go and see the movie a second time. So I did the next morning at like 11:30. And even though the fire alarm was pulled about 30 minutes before the ending, I got to a point where I was able to form my decision and realized that I actually really liked the movie for what it was. So my question for you guys today, and I want you to go down and comment down here. Did you like the movie? I've got my friend Dan, he loves the movie. He admits there's problems like I do. Pretty much everyone I talk to, all my friends, they're like, yeah, really enjoyed the movie. There are problems though. And that's exactly how I feel. But first, let's get on to what the movie's about. And I will tell you right now, no spoilers this video at all. We pick up right where The Force Awakens left off with Luke and Rey's first meeting. As Rey trains with the Jedi Master, the remainder of the Resistance fends off the First Order in an attempt to escape their devastating fleet of ships. So yeah, that's the best summary I can really think of for the movie without spoiling any big points or anything like that. So let's first start off with the most crucial question that we've all had leading up to this movie. How are the Porgs? I will tell you, the Porgs are awesome. They're adorable. Super cute. The cinematography and the visuals for this entry in the Star Wars franchise are on a whole nother level from anything we've seen before in Star Wars. I love the way how it feels really different, and that's all credited to Rian Johnson's directing. Also, the opening space battle is fantastic. I loved almost every moment of it. There's literally one sliver of a scene that kind of takes away from the momentum of a shot, but that's literally it. The sound design's also fantastic, from the lightsaber sounds to the vehicles whooshing by you and all the different vehicle types. The Porgs just being used as ambiance on the one planet, just so you know that they're there without kind of beating you over the head with it, even though they are shown a lot. But who cares, they're Porgs, they're adorable. And also, John Williams' score is incredible for this movie as well. Unfortunately, nothing on the tier of like a Duel of Fates, but you know, it's still really good score. Now the movie itself is about 2.5 hours, has basically 3 storylines going through it. One of the storylines diverts into a sub-story, and I'm going to get into that because that's where I have some of my issues. Now I do like the majority of the stories, with the First Order chasing down the remainder of the Resistance. That's a big chunk of it. Rey training with Luke on the planet, that's really cool also. Kylo Ren and his whole struggle with the First Order, I like that as well. At a point, Finn and newcomer Rose have to go and find a safecracker. And they go to this casino planet of Canto Bight, I believe the name is. That's where the film has the majority of the issues for me. Granted, it does give us a great theme of the universe of Star Wars being more gray than black and white, which is really important. We get the introduction of Benicio del Toro's character, DJ, the hacker. I loved him in the movie. I thought he was really cool. We do see a little, in my opinion, too much kind of goofiness with BB-8. But the whole Canto Bight sequence, when they're on that planet, should have been trimmed down a lot more. It's like a fifth of the film, maybe more. And it really just kind of echoes a lot of the problems we had with the prequels, where there's this overabundance of CG characters going on. So Rian Johnson did a phenomenal job directing this movie. There's no doubt about that. He's definitely earned his trilogy that he's getting. But for that trilogy, they need another writer. Because Rian Johnson's writing, even though giving us a lot of cool moments with the characters, a lot of cool payoffs, there's a lot of plot holes, there's a lot of unsatisfying answers to questions from The Force Awakens. There's a lot of choices that characters make that just make no sense. So all of the actors give great performances, and there's really no weak links at all. I actually really like seeing Laura Dern in the movie. The two standouts for me, however, Mark Hamill as this very, tired and just beaten Luke Skywalker, who tried his best but succumbed to what he sees as the problem with the Jedi, which is hubris. That was really cool to see. I like seeing that side of Luke Skywalker. I know I've seen a couple people online that just don't like that, and they feel like they ruined Luke Skywalker, but this feels like a natural evolution of his character. And then we have Adam Driver, who gives another great performance as Kylo Ren, who's easily one of my favorite antagonists in all of Star Wars, with the way that he's able to portray this young child who was raised up through the Force and through the Jedi teachings, and who's just constantly torn between the light side and the dark side, and in this movie having to deal with his actions in Force Awakens, and trying to prove himself to Snoke, but then also trying to relate to Rey. It was a really good performance from Adam Driver. I really enjoyed it. Seeing the journeys of a lot of the characters returning from The Force Awakens, like Rey's journey to have a better understanding of the Force, Poe's journey to becoming a more well-rounded leader, which is a focal point of the movie. I really like that. I thought those were great storylines to follow. I did like seeing the returning cast of characters from The Force Awakens, and seeing how a lot of their dynamics with other characters have evolved and changed. The new cast of characters are, again, really good. Like I said, I really liked Laura Dern. I really liked Benicio del Toro, and I hope he comes back for more. He was the shining moment of the Finn-Rose side story. One of my other big problems with the movie is there's a lot of redundancy and just kind of mirroring, which I know Star Wars is known for, but not in this way. Like, Finn's storyline and his characterization is kind of similar to what he did in Force Awakens, where he's just trying to run away for a different reason, though. And then there's this theme that I don't want to tell you guys about, because it is kind of, you could infer a kind of spoiler from it. But it's revealed for one character, but then it's kind of already being done with another character, like, in the same movie. It's lazy. There's also a kiss at the end of this movie. And it is literally the most forced and out of nowhere kiss I've ever seen in a movie. The characters literally never showed any sort of romantic relationship being developed. You just assume that they're friends. But the one character kisses the other one. It's so out of place and just weird. Also, another weird thing. You see Luke milk a space cow, and then the space cow just looks at Rey, and that was weird too. And then there's a Mary Poppins scene, which you'll understand when you see it, but that could have been shot differently. Lastly, one of my biggest problems with the movie is that a lot of the answers, or lack thereof, to questions left over from The Force Awakens are either not answered, ignored, or, in the worst case, which will probably honestly be retconned, given such an unsatisfying answer that just feels out of place and doesn't really make sense. I get them, again, it has to do with that theme that I mentioned earlier. It makes sense for that theme, and the more I think about it, the more I can accept it. But at the same time, that's a theme being used for a character over here, off screen, over here, but literally the character over here is experiencing the same exact story. So aside from some out-of-place shots, glaring issues with the writing, plot holes, and unnecessary scenes, The Last Jedi is definitely one of my favorite films in the franchise, and definitely deserves to be seen in the theaters. It's awesome. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, gets a 7 out of 10. Now, I will say, from a story perspective, this is definitely not exactly one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Although there are literally moments that I cannot get out of my head, just how gorgeous they are, and how incredible they are, just in the overall story of Star Wars. So there's a lot of good here. There's also a fair amount of bad. From a cinematography perspective, this is leaps and bounds one of the best Star Wars, like I mentioned earlier. If you didn't like the movie on your first showing, go again. There is a lot going on here, thematically, with the characters, visually. It's incredible, all the stuff that they put in here, and it warrants a second viewing to make a better, well-rounded decision about how you feel about this movie. Honestly, guys, with how much I struggle to write this review in a non-spoiler way, which is why it's coming out so much later than literally the rest of the world, I thought this would be a shorter video, but I guess it won't be, because according to my clock, I'm at like 24 minutes. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, getting to this point. It means a lot to me that you watch my videos. Like I mentioned in the beginning, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Leave a comment, let me know if you like the movie or not. And as always, thanks for watching, and it means a great deal to me that you still watch my videos. Goodbye! Look over there. Over there!